So the idea behind this call, the theme, is what we call One Simple Change, which is really just us trying to encourage and inspire people to make really small and simple changes in their everyday lives that can better their health and make them feel better and, just make them healthier overall. And these changes don't have to be, difficult by any means. It can be something simple like, cutting out soda for, a while. more so maybe indefinitely, because soda is gross. But they don't have to be difficult changes at all. And so that's really why I'm just super excited to share with everybody why I'm excited about, making changes and bettering myself. And because I know that I've seen such an improvement in my own health and how I feel that I just really want to share it with everybody.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Abby. Okay, so for now, I'm going to mute you guys and I'm going to share my screen and my PowerPoint. And it's really a talk that I probably did, how many years ago, Janie, with you? Oh, I guess you can't answer. You're muted. But a long time ago, I did this same talk with Janie, and it made a big difference in their family's health over time. And so it's the same kind of information, the stuff I learned when I first got started and made simple changes as well. So I'm excited to share that with you so that you can just learn a lot. Okay, so like Abby said, it's one simple change and it leads to other ones. So why should we take care of our bodies? It's the only one that we have to live in. So that's a really good reason, right? And so we want to get up every day, just like when you go out to a car, you want that car to start, right? And so it's important for us to feel like we could do anything, any day. And for not just now, but what about when we're 80? What about when we're 90? What about hopefully when we're 100, right? Janie's got those genes where her family lives very long. So you want to have optimal health for a very long time, not just now. And what that depends on are those daily disciplines, those habits. Habits really create your health and everything for later in life. So we want to take care of the body we have. Thomas Edison said many years ago, the doctor of the future will no longer treat the human frame with drugs, but rather will cure and prevent disease with nutrition. And so, we work within the Juice Plus community, we work with a lot of doctors who are very forward thinking, who realize that you're not curing by giving a drug, so they're on the wellness side. And so some of the things I'm going to share with you are just how to prevent disease. There's lots of diseases out there. There's heart disease, there's cancer, but there's a lot of autoimmune disorders that people think are just normal now, that didn't happen to people before, but also didn't happen as young before. I have a neighbor who has a daughter who has MS, and she's young, or she had it like in her 20s, like 28. The son had and has whatever testicular cancer and a pacemaker. And so it's unbelievable. This is happening to the younger generation, so much so even adult onset diabetes used to be called it used to be called adult onset diabetes. Now it's called type 2 because it happens to children or people younger. So a lot of these diseases that used to be of older age are happening sooner. So anyway, it's really important to look at the nutrition piece because that's something we can control every day, all day long, what we're putting in our mouths. We have a lot of, we might not seem like we have a lot of control over that because there's willpower and all that. But if you're feeding your body the right foods, you don't need as much willpower, because willpower is really how much your sugar goes up and down and up and down and up and down all day. And so we're gonna talk about that and how we can maybe help. But we want to focus on real food. Okay, real food doesn't have a label. usually, and you can buy it in the perimeter of the aisles. So it's really important to shop in the perimeter and to realize that real food rots, as you can see with that watermelon, you know, or if you've ever had anything in your refrigerator for too long, you realize real food rots. And so why does it rot? You know, because it was alive before. So only live food really rots. And so you want to make sure you're eating live food because you are alive. We need enzymes to really help keep us alive longer. So a lot of people are eating foods without enzymes, like that Happy Meal down at the bottom. And not only that, it's not alive, it's also got a lot of preservatives and trans fat and salt and all those other things that make your body work harder. So we want to feed our bodies what it was actually meant to eat as much as possible. I'm not saying I'm a totally perfect eater. You should have seen what I ate earlier. But I have tools to offset it. Plus I also have the frame of mind where I'm going to eat some of those fruits and vegetables, even though I might not want them, you know? So you just want to always think, okay, I need to make sure I eat lots of fruits and vegetables to make up for whatever I just did. So here is just what doctors have found by looking at 4,500 studies on what keeps us healthy. The only common denominator was a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. So best is to eat them raw, vine ripen, a variety, all the different colors, and as many as possible. You know, you might want to say, oh, the minimum is 7 to 13 in America. 7 is for children. 9 to 13 is actually for adults, okay? But do we really want to just stick even to the minimum in a society where there's a lot of disease and disorders? So you want to eat as many as possible all day long. You know, shove them in however you can. There's never going to be too many, and never too many as far as variety. But the government now has tried to, you know, get to us in different ways. Now they're saying half the plates every meal, fruits and vegetables. So that's a good visual. What I love as far as a visual, this is the one I saw 17 years ago, and I was like, dang, I can't believe this exists, because I was in bachelor's degree to master's degree, never heard about anything about nutrition. And then I see this American Cancer Society poster, and I was learning about fruits and vegetables at the time and Juice Plus. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what they're putting on the poster, all fruits and vegetables. And I can't believe that. Like, and I watched a video about what they used to put on the poster was watch for fast growing moles or irregular moles. I forget, stop smoking and like things like that. But now this is the poster, you know, eat lots of fruits and vegetables. So we have some control, you know. I used to think it's doled out one way or the other, but I never thought I had any control over that. Of course, no one ever thinks they're going to get cancer either. So it's kind of a mind blower to know that you can have some control. Anyway, here is another reason why you want to eat lots of fruits and vegetables. On the left, it says daily vitamins come from food sources. Okay, so I always thought vitamins were just from a pill bottle. You know, I didn't really even think about vitamins at all. I was just kind of going about my daily routine every day and didn't think about nutrition. And my grandmother used to give me like a vitamin C. So I would say that was a vitamin. But what I found out is that there are 10,000 vitamins, minerals, and nutrients just in one apple. But when you take a vitamin supplement, there's only 30. So there's no comparison to a whole food versus a vitamin supplement. And what they do is they go into that apple and they say, oh, look at all those nutrients. That's just one page of 25 of what's actually in an apple. And they say, there's vitamin C, and that's connected to scurvy. So let me take that out and put that in the multivitamin. That's an easy one to replicate. Because it's identified with a certain disease and it's easy to replicate, that's when they put it in the vitamin. But people think that's how they're going to bridge the gap between what they should be eating and what they are eating. But it's not. We don't have a vitamin deficiency. We have a whole food deficiency. So it's barely scratching the surface. So another reason why fruits and vegetables really help is they're called antioxidants, okay? And what is happening in our body every day is oxidative stress. Every time we breathe, every time we exercise, every time we do something like smoking or eating bad food or anything like that, we have a certain level of oxidative stress. Some people have more, some people have less, but you want to have the same amount of antioxidants in the body to combat that oxidative stress, because oxidative stress creates a byproduct called free radicals, as you'll see in the picture. The free radicals hit on your good cells, 10,000 oxidative hits a day. And so they say that it's like standing in front of an x-ray machine every day that you do not have enough fruits and vegetables. So that's why some people age sooner than others. You could see the aging on their face or their body because they did not have enough antioxidants every day. And they may have increased their oxidative stress based on their lifestyle. So it's very important, because what happens is that oxidative stress causes mutation over time, and it also which causes disease and also aging earlier. Here's a Time Magazine article that kind of sums it up. The news isn't that fruits and vegetables are good for you, it's that they're so good they could save your life. So a lot of people turn to juicing when they're diagnosed with something, or when they want to get healthier. Or I love that when they say on Facebook, I'm thinking of doing a weekend cleanse, or a detox, because they know they've been eating bad. And so what we have with Juice Plus is a daily detox. It's not just for the weekend that you want to detox your cells, because we have a lot of things we're combating out in the environment, or things we're eating or drinking, things we're breathing. So it's good to have a daily detox, and Juice Plus does that. Fruits and vegetables definitely detox the body. This is 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries, a wide variety. They're raw, they're vine ripened, and what happens is they juice them. They take out the salt, the sugar, and the water. They put them into capsule form with the powders, or they make them into chewables, which are really good tasting, and also people love them, to use them instead of capsules sometimes. So depending on people's preference. So the capsules, people eat 2, 2, and 2 red, 2 green, 2 purple a day. That's what I take. Or they have for adult dosage 4, 4, and 4. Okay, and here's my before and after picture. You guys can enjoy the show. So that was my before picture at the top, where I was so unhealthy. I knew nothing, and I was reading that What to Expect When You're Expecting book, and it has this best odds diet, and it's like, okay, eat the best you can for the growing baby. But it was like reading a foreign language. I did not know what they were talking about with bran or brown eggs or omega-3s, all these things that I grew up in Ohio. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I knew nothing. And the internet, ladies, did not exist back then. Okay, so you have to forgive my ignorance, but it just wasn't happening as far as nutrition for me. And so I did the best I could. I had my first baby, and thankfully my friend intervened in time for him to start eating around 6 months, and in time for my second baby, who is not pictured here, another baby boy. And so I was able to use Juice Plus as my prenatal, which is good. And then I made lots of simple changes. And this is around the time when Janie and I met, and Abi too, down at the bottom where I had baby Emma 7 years later. It's actually 8 years between those pictures. But I was pregnant at 40, and I went to the doctor, and I was very excited because I knew it had to be the girl. And the doctor was like, yeah, but your eggs are 40 years old. Here's a pamphlet on cystic fibrosis. You should have an amniocentesis and all these things. And I'm like, listen, buddy, I'm so much healthier than ever. You're not going to burst my bubble. And sure enough, baby Emma was born, and she was perfect. So, it really just matters what you're doing every day to just be in optimal health. And so I feel a lot healthier now than I ever did in my 20s and my early 30s. And I'm 50 now, which is like scary, but I don't feel like I'm 50. I play racquetball for hours. I no longer have allergies. I no longer have to stop off the side of the road and sleep just on a 3-hour drive. I can drive, very long time. And I've actually tested that too. So anyway, here is what makes Juice Plus different. It's not a vitamin, it's a whole food. So you can see up there, the label, it says nutrition facts instead of supplement facts. If you're looking at a shake or a vitamin or wondering, is this a supplement or is this a vitamin or is this a whole food? You look to see if it says nutrition facts, just like a bag of apples would, or whether it says supplement facts, which is just like vitamins or isolated vitamins. And then NSF certification guarantees there's no herbicides, pesticides, heavy metals, or banned substances. And then most research You can look at those major medical centers and universities, and hardly any supplement out there is tested at all, especially product-specific research, and definitely not at these different medical centers and universities. And so it's got 36 different peer-reviewed medical journals behind it, showing it works, basically. I mean, to summarize it all. But for those people who like to know more, the oxidative stress is reduced by 75% just within 28 days. You can't really feel that, but we have research showing that that is true. And then within 80 days, your immune system is better. The T cells are up, the natural killer cells are up, which is what you want to help protect your body. And then the DNA, you know, it's kind of like making a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy on a copy machine. Your DNA gets a little bit of damage every time it replicates because of that oxidative stress. And what they found was 66% less DNA damage in the very first study that they ever did. And so they've replicated that study a couple times. But basically, we have less DNA damage being on Juice Plus, which is tremendous. And then we have cardiovascular wellness studies. We have 5 different studies showing better cardiovascular wellness, even after eating a high-fat meal, which usually induces blood vessel constriction 4 to 6 hours and 40 to 60%. They said it basically eliminated the detrimental effect of the high-fat meal. So Juice Plus just basically goes to work in the body like fruits and vegetables should. And so it's consistent with the whole body of research. And then reducing systemic inflammation, a lot of things that are wrong with autoimmune disorders, with skin issues, with all these different things, is inflammation in the body. And it's highly correlated with any disease. So to reduce systemic inflammation is huge. And then supports healthy skin and supports healthy gum. And what they found with the skin study is better hydration, better microcirculation, so that nutrients and oxygen are helping the skin, and better skin density thickness. And then healthier gums means healthier body overall. And so when you take not only Juice Plus, the trio blend, the 3 blends I was telling you about with 30 fruits and vegetables and berries, that's your micronutrients. We also have a complete shake, which is a meal replacement. If you want to use it as that, you would add more things to it. I have that every day for breakfast, so does my whole family. And basically you have at least 45 fruits and vegetables and plants in your body before you go out the door in the morning, you know? And sometimes we'll have it a second one later in the day. Here are some facts about the complete, and I'm sure Abby could always send you a sample, or you could just drink it in the house. I think you guys are all living together. Anyway, it has a good amount of protein, fiber. That's one of the first things people notice about Juice Plus is they have better bowel movements. And then with the shake, it's like, oh, even more. And then when they do 2 times a day with the shake, they're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know I needed to go to the bathroom that much. So it's good for, like I said, detoxing, cleansing. And then there's some superfoods like spirulina, and then sprouts. All those things are so good for your body. And what I love a lot is the Jerusalem artichoke. That helps build your intestinal bacteria, which is what really matters. Your intestines is what kind of dictates how well you absorb nutrients, how your skin looks, all those different things. So to have a prebiotic in the shake is really, really good. And so my family is so much healthier because of Juice Plus, because a friend of mine told me about Juice Plus many years ago, and I knew nothing, but she knew something. And so I'm so glad she did. These are my big boys. You saw the baby picture of this one. This is the second one that came along, and this is the princess 8 years later. So anyway, but what it's done for us is given us a new normal where we don't have to be at the doctor's office. We have a lot of vitality. We're not worried about catching something. And so we're going to turn to Janie. You can unmute yourself, and she's going to share just her brief story about how she was introduced to Juice Plus and what it's done for her family.
Yeah. I heard about Juice Plus. Gosh, I can't believe it's been 10 years ago. My goodness. From a friend that I trusted. And the kids were obviously small back then. Abby was 9. And I knew it made sense to me because I had some picky eaters. My Trip, who's 27 now, used to tell his friend's mother that he was allergic to salad, so he would be allowed to eat any. So I knew we had some picky eaters, so it made sense to get all that nutrition in them, like when they first walked out the door. So we have seen some huge health differences because of it, and made a lot of simple changes ourselves. And some of them, like you can see here, here's Carl with one of the grandbabies. And then I've got a picture of like his treadmill desk. You know, it's the simple changes you make along the way, one just leads to another. And so he started to up his fitness. He started eating better and taking his Juice Plus and drinking the 2 shakes a day. And then he started, instead of sitting at his computer desk all day, he started walking on this treadmill desk. And so he computes and he walks, and it's pretty amazing, actually, the amount of exercise he gets that way. So, you know, it's just fun to watch that snowball kind of get going in the right direction. And then, you know, I noticed that I had more energy. I'm back to riding horses, which I had done as a kid, hadn't done that in forever. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. And I find that, you know, when you're fueling your body better, you know, it's like Sharon said, playing racquetball, you know, you have all the energy to do those things that you want to do, you know, whether it's play polo or just ride for fun, or, you know, take a nice hike up in the mountains, whatever it would be, that you have that energy. And one of the real things that I noticed after taking Juice Plus, you know, not even for a long time, was that the kids weren't getting sick. You know, with 5 kids, one brings something home and then they all pass it around and then they give it to the parents. So I started noticing we weren't getting sick as often. We weren't at the doctors. And then when somebody did pick up something, it didn't last as long. You know, you were able to, your body was just healthier and your immune system was better. So you were able to shake it off. So that really impressed me. And that's one of the reasons we keep taking Juice Plus, is because we can just see the health benefits and the practical benefits, you know, that keeps you out of the doctor's office with the copays and all the expenses. So, you know, it's definitely been something that we didn't want to give up. Yeah. We love our Juice Plus.
All right. And I know that you wanted your husband to get healthy. And
Yes.
I wanted my husband to get healthy. It took a long time for him to get on the Juice Plus train.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to say this is his before and this is his after picture from like a year or 2 ago. He's now lost like 40 pounds. But, you know, using Juice Plus and also using 2 shakes a day has really helped him. But also we have this Facebook community that inspires us to make one simple change at a time, like you're saying, Janie. Those kinds of things have really helped us. We do soup, salad, smoothies. That kind of helps us keep in the narrow thinking of, okay, if it fits in those categories, it's probably healthy, and then trying not to eat after 6 or 7. The soups would be like vegetables and beans, not like broccoli, cheese, you know, hate to point that out. We have something that we kind of go back to as like a framework that we've embraced. It's called the Shred 10. I know some of you are familiar with it, where it's the trio capsules, 1 to 2 plant-based shakes a day, the complete, which I say 2. Exercise daily, drink lots of water, shred gluten and dairy. Those things, those have proteins that are hard to digest. So the shred is really about detoxing even more. And then processed food, sugar, alcohol, caffeine, those kinds of things. And then also letting your body rest by having your last meal at like 6 or 7. Those are just nice guidelines to like what the perfect eating would maybe be. We don't hold anybody to that. We just say, okay, let's strive for a lot of these, you know? And so I don't want to call you Carly all the time because you look like Carly. So Abby's going to share with us how she has been doing on the shred. She's been doing it with her roommates, right? You want to unmute? You got to unmute.
There we go.
There we go.
So yeah, my roommate Thea and I, who is on the call right now, and she's on the bottom right picture, we decided to do the shred together, and we were gonna, you know, help keep each other motivated and stay on track, which it's amazing how much difference it makes having someone doing it with you. It makes it a lot more fun. But, you know, there's that huge everyone says that eating healthy is expensive, or, you're in college, so you just have to eat ramen noodles every night for dinner. But it doesn't have to be that way. So the top left picture is, one day I went to the grocery store to prepare for the shred, and I didn't even spend over $40 on that grocery trip for the 10 days. So that's, the fact that people think that eating healthy is expensive is definitely not the case. So, and on the right is also our daily morning smoothies, and something that I love for, especially, which is nice being in college, salad jars, which are super easy to make in advance. You can make, your whole week's worth of salad jars, keep them in the fridge, wake up in the morning, make your smoothie, and you're out the door with your salad jar. So it makes, being on campus and studying pretty easy, and not having to go to the dining hall on campus, and, as tempting it as it is to get that delicious looking slice of pizza, it's definitely an easy, change to just kind of set yourself up for success. And that's really what I have seen help me is, going to the grocery, planning out my meals, making it in advance so that, I don't get to lunchtime and I'm not prepared, so that at that point I would be tempted to, go through the fast food line. So it really helps just being prepared. And I know that since, starting this healthy lifestyle and all this huge journey that I'm super excited about, I've seen so much of an improvement on my energy levels, and, just I feel happier. I feel so much more motivated, and, I definitely gained double the freshman 15 my first year at college. Oh. But since then, I've lost all of it, if not more.
Wow.
Yep. And, on the bottom left is me last weekend. A group of friends and I took a hike up here in Montana, and we hiked up the equivalent of 160 flights of stairs, and we gained over 7,000 feet elevation, which I can't imagine trying to have done that a year ago. I don't think I would have had the energy to do that. Awesome. So it's really exciting. And not only that, my sleep patterns have, definitely improved. I'm falling asleep faster and staying asleep, which is definitely important being in college and trying to, stay well rested for exams and things like that. So it's definitely made a huge improvement.
Awesome. And then you want to share about this? This is exciting, right?
Yeah, this is very exciting. So one of the, I guess, most physically, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but physically noticeable changes that people might notice is my skin. These pictures were only taken, I think, about 4 months apart, but the left side photos are the before picture of what my skin looked like while I was living on campus and eating unhealthy and not working out, and, just kind of in a rut with my life a little bit. So, and my skin, it was just so sensitive, and I had been to dermatologists, and I had been prescribed different solutions and topicals and creams and gels and, pads, and it made it so much worse. Mm. It made my skin so red and flaky and dry and so sensitive to the point that it hurt to, just touch my face to try and put lotion on or something, which, that doesn't really feel too good. So, and, I was frustrated. I felt so self-conscious in myself. I kind of, I felt like I didn't want to leave the house because I felt like when I was having a conversation with somebody, they were just looking at, all these red dots on my face instead of looking into my eyes while they're talking to me. And so it made me super self-conscious, and it made me just that much more unmotivated to do anything really. And it made me feel like I couldn't, leave the house without putting makeup on, which is slightly counterproductive. You're trying to cover up what you don't like, but you're kind of making it worse by just putting so many layers of all these chemicals in the makeup now. So I, decided to make one change and eat better and flood my body with all of these wonderful whole foods. And I saw changes so quickly, and I just feel so much better. I definitely feel like I can leave the house without makeup, and I'm, not self-conscious talking to people, and it makes me so happy.
That's awesome. And your story is not the first one I've heard about the skin. People say cystic acne. Did you have cystic acne?
Yes.
It's like it hurts and underneath, and I don't think I've ever had that, but I know that they say that they hardly ever had any pictures of themselves. They didn't want to leave the house, and they're so happy that they can go out without makeup, like you're saying. So I'm so happy for you. And, a lot of times also people with Juice Plus just feel better, and they are happier, because if you're taking in the right nutrients, your brain chemistry is actually better too. You've got to feed your body the right nutrients so that you also have your happy medicines that come from your body. People get prescriptions for that, but our body actually has all the prescriptions it needs, if you give your body the right nutrients. So some people feel so much better. I know one lady had postpartum depression, and after getting on Juice Plus, she was ready to tackle the world, started running, all these different things, and it's not the first person I've heard of. It's pretty well known. So, just keep taking your Juice Plus. Good nutrition equals good results. You're always going to have good results. And people always ask, well, what about this disease? What about this disorder? Will it be helped? Good nutrition helps everything. So you really want to focus on that. And our private Facebook groups helps encourage each other to eat better and to be happier and stay on track. And I love Jamie's pictures. We have a saying, live life to the plus. These people are jumping up with great vitality, and we want you guys to have that, and we want you guys to live life to the plus. Juice Plus is not expensive if you change your paradigm, just like Abi did. And basically it's an investment in yourself. It's not like buying a vitamin or a supplement. It's actually like buying a better body and just creating a different lifestyle for yourself. And so we always just pay it. We have a family of 5. It's never been on the chopping block for the budget because it's kept us out of the doctor's office and the co-pays and all that. But more importantly than that, it's really feeding it's an investment in our bodies even later in life, not only now, but later. And then the complete shake, I know you guys are in college. I always wish I had that as a college student. Like looking back, I'm like, man, if I could have had a $2 really good meal, that's awesome. So hopefully you're taking advantage of that. And, the children in the Juice Plus Children's Health Study, we're giving out 1 million free Juice Plus supplies to children all over the world. They're experiencing better health, and so most people have these same things going on, less prescription over-the-counter drugs, less days of school missed, less work missed for the parents, and less doctor visits. Nobody really wants to do that. We're going antibiotic after antibiotic, which I used to have to do. And then they're eating more fruits and vegetables. Once you take in Juice Plus and also whole food nutrients, you're going to crave more. And that's one way in which Juice Plus helps to kind of train your body. But the other thing is when you drink that shake, there's like an even amount of complex carbohydrates that enter the bloodstream. So you're not as hungry, you're more satiated, and so you don't crave as many other things. And you can use Juice Plus, the complete shake, at night if you are craving something. I've been making a chocolate mint shake that's to die for. With like mint leaves, mint extracts, chocolate organic soy milk, lots of ice. It's the bomb. You guys got to try that. Anyway, Juice Plus has been around for 25 years. The company's been around for 45 years. Their mission is to inspire healthy living around the world. We're always looking for more people who want to join our team to touch other lives. Our plan is to touch future generations with better health through the micronutrients in Juice Plus, the fruits, the vegetables, and the berries, the macronutrients in the complete, and also the Tower Garden, which is an easy way to grow your own, especially out west when water is a problem, right? And so this is a recycle water system where you're not wasting a lot of water in the land, and is able to use the same tonic and water over and over, recycled, and you can have your own plants, you know, vegetables, herbs, things like that, kale. So it's really cool. So our product line is only 3 different categories of products, and they are meant for bridging the gap for whole food nutrition. So I hope that you guys enjoyed learning about that, and I'm just gonna get us back here, and so I'm gonna turn off the recording after Abi says any few last words for anybody on the recording or your guests tonight.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for listening. I'm really happy to share with you guys, and I'm really excited to see you guys next time as well.
Awesome.